I'm in the house. All right. Black Power is the general. We back up in this piece. Black Power to all my family out there. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to come be with the general and get this wisdom. Because niggas be putting in work, family. Be putting in work to arm the people with knowledge. You feel me? Black Power. Let me get my monitor up. That's right. I don't know what's going wrong with my damn phone. This motherfucker act crazy. I don't even know what's wrong with it. Let me see. Hold on, family. Time for some new shit, for real. Motherfucker get to acting crazy. Time to get another one. Straight up. We're gonna get this work today. I guarantee you. I hope all your little Greek freaks, fraternities, sororities, don't make no difference. Don't make no difference. I know y'all, you went to the university and the white man taught you about your history. So you went and joined a Greek freak fraternity or sorority. Still love you. You still family. But you was bamboozled. You understand what I'm saying? You was bamboozled. You didn't know. You didn't know. And so we're going to tighten you up today, get you together. You understand? So you don't fall for nothing like that no more. You know what I'm saying? Some niggas try to put the onk on top of the Greek letters. That show you now niggas is even more confused than ever. Let me get this shit together, family. I'm most definitely gonna have to take one of these hoodies off. It's hot. God damn. This need to be done. You understand what I'm saying? You can't go. It went on the other day, embellishment. When you embellish something, you add a whole lot of shit on that ain't even a part of the original story. You know what I'm saying? You go to Sumeria, you go down there. I'm going to be on the Mayans tomorrow. I ain't letting up. I'm putting that shit up tonight. I'm going to be on the Mayans tomorrow. I got all the documentations on them to show you. They try to rank the Mayans as one of the greatest civilizations of all time. How? We're going to checkmate that. You see what I'm saying? Matter of fact, awesome. The little brother of the Nile Valley civilizations. Awesome. They can't even compare with awesome, let alone Nubia or ancient Egypt, the queen of the Nile. Okay? We need to tighten up out there. You understand what I'm saying? Because proof is seeing it. Seeing is believing. Let your lying eyes fool you if that's what you choose. You let a motherfucker talk to you about your understanding of reality, that's on you. I can't do nothing about that. You know what I'm saying? So, because most people, they want to do great things in life. So everybody taught to go to the university. So a motherfucker get brainwashed into some Greco-Roman bullshit. Okay? I'm going to watch these numbers go up. You know what I'm saying? I know family is coming. I know they see that red light is on. I know everybody out there is subscribed to the general. I know goddamn well that's true. You see what I'm saying? You got to know. And most of the time, I'm going to put up, an early notification that I'm going live anyway. You understand what I'm saying? To let the family know. But hit the motherfucker subscribe notification. If not, nigga, something seriously wrong. You know, a lot of, even the motherfuckers that hate me out there subscribing to General Set. Because they got to know what the fuck I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Let me get my monitor up. Get my damn monitor up. I like going over the rules of research. You understand what I'm saying? So when you get up off of here, when you go do your research, you got some rules and standards, filters. You see what I'm saying? That you run information through. I got about 7, 8, 9, 10 filters. I run that shit like a strainer. You know what I'm saying? Run that shit through a strainer, you know, so only the purity come up out of there. You feel me? That's what we want. We don't want nothing else. Calling all wannabe scholars. I know it's a lot of Greek freaks in the house tonight. I'm going to wait on. I love you, though. I love you. Respect to you. But if you're freaking and you're Greeking and freaking, I don't know if I could love you. You know what I'm saying? If your family out there, if you're Greeking and freaking, I don't know if I got love for you. You might, you might then freak your way up out of your love. Straight up. And that's respect. Because you can't be Greeking and freaking and rolling with the team. You see what I'm saying? Especially as we went over, especially that Pan shit. We went over to Michael Jackson and the R. Kelly with all that panagrammic, old pedophilia, pornographic shit. You know what I'm saying? Anything goes with Greek, Roman, freaks and shit. Alexander the goddamn Great. Do y'all know that when family told me the Alexander movie, whatever that cracker that played, I ain't watched it yet. Because they was saying they was in there kissing. I'm not watching no movie. No kiss for me. Fucking like that. Ain't gonna even watch it. You know what I'm saying? That motherfucking movie probably 10 years old. Sometimes if it's historical, I'll watch it. But they came all out the pocket. They came all out the pocket on that. You understand? We got them up there kissing and shit. Okay? Came and told the truth. Cannot deal with nothing like that. So we got to understand that that's the predominant culture, spiritual, philosophy, sexual, philosophy of Greeks and Romans. You see what I'm saying? So how the fuck you gonna go and claim that shit and put that shit and brand yourself with some garbage like that? Nigga thinking you being intellectual. Nigga, you's a fool. You's a fool, nigga. I don't have no respect for no shit like that, but you didn't know. But some, we got to use your ass as an example. You know what I'm saying? Cover that shit up. Go take that shit off your damn body is what you do. I'm watching them numbers go up. When I get to that magic number, I'm gonna get in. I have to do this. You know what I'm saying? Because we get punked a lot of times out of our history. And I'm telling y'all, we talking about all research started on the elementary level. Okay? So when I say an elementary researcher, you understand that don't mean you understand that, they not on a level of significance. You know what I'm saying? Because the basic shit will stop a lot of this in its tracks. Niggas not even using the basic research tools at all. We're not doing no research. You know what I'm saying? That Christianity and all that religion didn't spoil you niggas because, that shit already come pre-packaged. You see, you ain't got to do no research. When you're into the metaphysical shit, you ain't got to do no motherfucking research. All you got to do is and hum and shit and do all that. You ain't got to do no research. You know what I'm saying? And so some niggas just, they rather hum and they rather, believe, and, that don't require nothing. You know what I'm saying? So niggas ain't never taught to research something, because if they find out something and it's against God, they taught that, that's blasphemy. You understand what I'm saying? So a nigga can't even do research because it's blasphemous. You see what I'm saying? They done hung a lot of motherfuckers because they done taught something against the Bible, against the Quran and shit. And this is how sick these motherfuckers is. You understand? So they done stagnated the whole planet from doing proper research and having a proper understanding. And this is shit when you say, they say get wisdom in all that get an understanding. See, the understanding is when you put it on the table and pull it apart and then put it back together. It's like a puzzle. You see what I'm saying? When you put it on the table and you pull it apart and put it back together, when you put it back, then you can see how it happened. You see what I'm saying? And that's how you get your understanding. Most niggas out here don't want no understanding. Okay? They don't. They ain't got no rules of research or nothing. Most of this shit out here is some philosophical bullshit of embellishment. Okay? Taking a lie and putting some bells and whistles on that shit to make it even more grandiose. A grandiose lie. You see what I'm saying? And we're going to go over this again today as we deal with these Greeks, these freaks, and the Romans. You understand what I'm saying? I wasn't going to I could have took them and separated them and then do the Greeks and the Romans, but they both, primarily the same people, different period, and the Romans primarily took all the Greek religion, the temples and whatever, and yeah, they put their own little mix on it. You understand what I'm saying? But the basis of Rome is Greek. So you say Greco-Roman. You know what I'm saying? And so the Romans also took, many, if not all of the Greek gods and, remixed them and, call them something else, but primarily the same deity. You understand what I'm saying? And so I couldn't just, separate, because it ain't worth it. You know what I'm saying? It ain't worth it. Just to be real. If I would have took the Greeks and separated them from the Romans and tried to do 2 days, y'all would have been like, "Say the goddamn, you just stretching some shit." And so I don't want to do that. So I put 2 on the same team to show you, and still they can't fuck with ancient Egypt at all. Not even coming close. Matter of fact, I can put the Indian with the Greek and Roman, and I'm doing the Mayans tomorrow, and be real, I could put all 4 of them on the same team, and it'll be a Mike Tyson versus Marvin Frazier. You understand what I'm saying? A fucking 50-second knockout. It's not even close. Straight up. You understand what I'm saying? I don't even have to put up, just go temple for temple. I can't even do that. They don't hold that kind of weight. You see what I'm saying? They don't hold that kind of weight. Manuscripts and shit, just like I went over the manuscript. You could go if you go up on the internet right now and you look up ancient Egyptian papyrus. See, you're going to get the top ones that pop up, even though they got papyruses all over the world. You understand what I'm saying? Nah, as easy as it is for you to go to the British Museum and you see any of these, and you see the papyrus of Hunefer, and then you go over to this museum and you see the papyrus of Edward Smith, Edward Smith, his papyrus, he the motherfucking thief that stole it. But they got major papyruses from the period in which it was written. I'm not talking about a revision. I'm not talking about somebody said, he said. I'm not talking about none of that. Okay, that's not a primary reference. Okay, we're going over primary references again. And I had to slam them niggas about the metal netter because they still don't understand the difference between a primary reference and a fucking secondary piece of shit ass reference. Okay? You understand what I'm saying? And y'all don't understand that. And so some niggas are so deep off into crackatosis, they can't separate Champollion from the writings of our ancestors. So if you you destroy Champollion and his false interpretation of our ancestors' language, they feel like you disrespecting the ancestors. we hold most sacred and most holy because I'm a brother of the crowd. Them is my sacred teachings. You understand? By oath, any and everything of African creation is held sacred in my heart. And it's my oath to defend it, even with my life, if it calls for that. You see what I'm saying? That's why I'm so fearless in what I do and what I say. You see what I'm saying? Have no, because that's my oath, and I love it. And when I took it, I'm more, I'm more in love with Africa today than I've ever been. Okay, and that's saying a whole lot because I've been in love with Africa damn near all my life. You understand what I'm saying? When you say a man or a woman is a priest or a priestess, that means that's all you do. You don't do nothing else. So I heard a lot of niggas saying, I love you. You understand what I'm saying? But I got to keep it 100. You understand what I'm saying? You can't go and work for the white man. And even if you do, that's no disrespect to you. But you got to have yours that's going to go. Even if you do, you got somebody that you could go to that you ain't compromised. See what I'm saying? Because when you compromise, motherfucker got, they got a hold on your tongue. Oh, I can't say this. And, the motherfucker might come up on the end. Fuck that. I don't give a goddamn. Who hear me? You understand what I'm saying? Somebody got to be 100 for the people all the goddamn time. Okay? So if you find yourself, you got to be quiet when the white man are around, or you scared because, your peoples might hear you talking, then okay then. So I don't want you to put these big grandioso titles on. Don't mean you ain't down for your people. Don't mean none of that. Okay? When we say a priest or a priestess, that means you do nothing but what's best for the people all the time without consequence. Okay then. All right. Like it or love it. I don't give a goddamn. We here to talk truth today. You understand what I'm saying? We got to talk truth. Because most motherfuckers, want to be super nigga. You understand what I'm saying? They in there smiling. And I'm not talking to none of my family out, my family out there. I know as many just as in love with Africa as I am. Okay? So stand strong on your square. Don't be shaking. Don't they say I honor and respect you. If I throw a motherfucker rock into a pack of dogs, the one that holler is the one that got hit. So if you out there and you feel some goddamn kind of way, it must be the goddamn truth. You see what I'm saying? And so we got to be hard on niggas today because we so far from being where we supposed to be. We can't have, no mercy on the flagrant disrespect of our people that's going on out there today. Okay? We see, a lot of times, I had to speak about a subject through another subject because people know if I start cutting into a lot of, what's going on out here, and I need to, but my tongue too fire, and niggas know that. Niggas know that. I don't even have to, it ain't even no brag. Motherfucker, if I was in an open forum and it was all, no rules, all holes barred, you know what I'm saying? No holes barred, you know what I'm saying? Believe me, my tongue ain't nothing but fire. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not gonna hold nothing up on nobody. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm so beyond this shit out here that I can't even get up here and say shit because they're gonna take my shit off. They're gonna take my shit off. You know what I'm saying? So I have to teach through subjects that ain't gonna have me so riled up to where, you know what I'm saying, the whole fucking internet catch fire. You know what I'm saying? But the time coming, I got, I'm working hard on the new site. It's coming along because my energy is stronger now. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm moving hard on the generalseti website. Is already up. I'm just putting the finishing touches up. The DVDs will be back out. And the new school. Okay, I'm giving family teachers and they hard as fuck right now. But it's some coming behind hard 2-3 times harder than what the fuck I'm giving you. You understand, on YouTube. And I have to give you something. And I love the support that y'all giving me. You understand what I'm saying? Because a lot of family and know out there. I could be charging whatever the fuck I want to charge, but it's all about the wisdom of the people too. You can't hold the progression of the people behind, behind the dollar all the goddamn time. See, if I don't come up here and show my presence, and the ancestors then chose me at this time to come out here and do what I do, then what am I doing? You see what I'm saying? I'm no different than nobody else. And so I have to come out here and, keep the level of understanding out here at a high level so niggas don't fall back into the dark ages. You see what I'm saying? And that's what niggas will do. And a lot of these little niggas out here then came up while the general wasn't on the field. You understand what I'm saying? But now that I'm back on the motherfucking field, nigga, it's a wrap on that. You understand? I'm gonna smother the shit out of that bullshit, and I guarantee, and I don't give a fuck. Anybody want that smoke can get it. Believe that. And I'm talking about, I want a big Indian. I don't want no little Indian. I don't want no one feather in his head. I want the motherfucker with all the big ass, chief with all the goddamn feathers on his head. That's what I want. Okay? So any motherfucker out there, don't make no videos or nothing. Just call my motherfucking name, say you want that smoke. And any college professor, family say they had a college professor out there, was going over one of the videos, and he couldn't come up with no answer at that time, but he gonna think about it, okay? And he was a college professor. So if family out there, if you out there and you in the chat, make sure you get with me and talk him into it. I customize ass whoopings. I don't go wild on all of them. You understand what I'm saying? There's many times where I can come up and I won't even, I won't cuss. You know what I'm saying? Not because that's me. I'm gonna cuss. I don't give a fuck. That's me. I'm not cleaning up shit for nobody. I'm a rebel. You understand what I'm saying? What I'm doing now is to keep things up here so the people can have something to go to. You see what I'm saying? I'm about to get busy, y'all. Y'all already know what time it is. You know what I'm saying? But I have to warm up. You know what I'm saying? But I do customize ass whooping. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to cuss. I don't have to do nothing. You can just go on up there and I'm gonna steal. I'm gonna be a cold blade. I can put that motherfucker on the hot iron, or I could come with the cold blade. Now, if you want the cold blade, I could give you the cold blade. It's not a problem. So all professors, all imams, I don't give a damn. You can bring it on. That's going to be the last day. Your people's going to be putting that obituary together for your ass, intellectual obituary, because that's going to be the last day for your ass. Guaranteed. Not running from nothing. Any nigga that want it can get it, all right? Now today, again, is ancient Egypt versus ancient Greece and Rome. Now, let me get my timeline up. I got these files on you niggas. I got the files. Been had. Niggas, anybody, I got the daggers, my note cards, I keep all that. I don't have, niggas, when I get ready to get really ruthless, I get them all out. I get the training and shit. Now, before we get off into the images, because a lot of people, I got to warm you up. So when you get off into them images, it's going to be more profile. Just to jump off in them, no. Let me run this shit down to you. Now, we already then went into Egypt versus India. We even in the 25 wonders of Africa. You know what I'm saying? Africa is lost in time. No chronology is sufficient to tell the story of Africa. That's clear. No story is sufficient to tell the story of Africa. You cannot let another man count your pockets. Because if you let another man count your pockets, you're going to always come up short. That's just it. And then we looking at, the last man on the chronological timeline to come into history is telling us when we, achieve greatness. You understand? And telling the story of our motherland, and he ain't even crawled out the cave yet. And that's very serious that we allow this to happen, that we've been punked. And really, it's an economic rape that causes us to, you know what I'm saying? As long as the white man controls us economically and politically, he gonna make you bow down to history. You understand? He gonna make you bow down to every aspect of society. Because if you got to go to his university to get a degree so you can go out here and get a job, you gonna put down whatever the hell he tell you to put down. And that's a clique. See, that's a cartel. That's a goddamn cabal. You understand what I'm saying? That's a coven when you join that university. Because when you take that goddamn degree, you taking a goddamn oath. And so anytime they feel you not in the clique, goddamn it, they snatching that shit down. They snatching your degree down. They're gonna put some demerits on your ass. So when you go anywhere in this goddamn country, it ain't gonna be worth shit. Okay? If they want to do that. Now, and they've done that to many of a great scholar. Okay? And so that's where we at today. So as long as we stay economically in bondage to the white man, long as we stay politically in bondage to the white man, where he controls everything in our community, all the imports and exports, okay? He controls your housing because he controls your weekly check, okay? If he controls, most of you niggas out there is hurting because of the shutdown. And, I feel for you, but our elders and teachers then told us goddamn time and time and time again. And though I might not fought you, I fought a lot of our goddamn mamas and daddies, grandmamas and grandfathers, and on down the goddamn, because they exacerbated the goddamn situation when they did not look this beast in his eye and deal with it. You keep thinking another generation gonna go, well, we just gonna save. Motherfucker, you ain't gonna save a goddamn thing. You know how many motherfuckers say they've been saving for the revolution? You know how many generations of niggas? Nah, the 2-3 generations that came before us, and they said they were saving for the. How much did y'all? Oh, I'm putting up. Bitch, you ain't putting up nothing. Quit lying to yourself. Don't lie to me. Don't lie to the people. You understand what I'm saying? And this is why we are in bondage to this white man history. Because you cannot openly attack him when that man paying your goddamn rent and putting the food on your goddamn table. I'm being real. We under bondage like that. And so people, and you, when I go over the how easily we can debunk this motherfucker, you ask, why haven't people stood up and attacked this motherfucker? Because they really don't want to be African no more. They want to be down with the beast. The nationalism of Malcolm X, Garvey. And so that ain't even a priority or even an aspect of most black people thinking today. They're not ever thinking on that level. So we got to understand that this is a minority thinking, but at the time of Garvey and at the time of Malcolm and even Elijah, you had people out there that was talking about nationalism. Now you can't get a motherfucker to say nothing because of generations of Uncle Tom ass niggas might be in your family, might be in mine. Okay, let's tell the truth. Let's not take nothing off of nobody. You understand what I'm saying? We have to accept that. That we've allowed, generation after generation to go deeper and deeper and deeper in the hole to where it don't even matter. You're going to sit up here and espouse some great facts and you still in bondage to this motherfucker economically. And so a lot of people want me to do something on the shutdown. What the fuck for? Nigga, this is the prophecy that's coming true today. That many of the master teachers and prophets of our people, then they was loving your ass and trying to tell you, this is what is going to come to. So I don't have to do no video. All you have to do is go read and go back to Marcus Garvey and the master teachers telling our grandmothers and mothers and fathers and uncles and aunties, you understand, 2 generations deep, and they ain't did nothing at all for no nationalism, okay? So that's where we at today. So you know, maybe we gonna have to go to the very, very, very bottom before we come up out of where niggas are starving. You know, I don't want it to come to that. The master teachers did not want it to come to that. That's why they told you in advance, because they loved you. I don't want it to come to that. Nobody wants to see that. But why in the fuck do we continue to go backwards today? You see what I'm saying? And so the fact that I have to go over this shit, these niggas is talking about R. Kelly. How long I been talking about these pedophiles? I've been talking about these pedophiles. Nigga, the making of the white man is really the first documentary that I ever, the community, and now some people might have talked about it in a book, but I say, you know what? This shit gonna take more than a book, because niggas will read and they'll get some type of understanding, but until they see that shit physically, it really don't hit them. So I say, you know what? I'm gonna hit these niggas. These niggas got to see this shit. So I put that shit out, what this beast been doing, and you know, and so people could visualize, you know, what's happening. And then much of this shit been going on for generations and generations. And so people want to today look at a bullseye like R. Kelly, who deserve whatever the fuck he got coming to him. But it's millions and millions of more motherfucking R. Kellys out here. And they sitting out here running off at their mouth like motherfuckers don't know they got dirty drawers on. You see what I'm saying? So many of these babies been crying no different than these women up on this damn documentary, and don't nobody hear they cries. They go on every day and every day. Again, watching this fake ass shit up on TV. You understand what I'm saying? Oblivious to the cries of the children. And then when they rise up on your ass and break your back, because they're going to say you with the man. You respond, you just as responsible as the man for allowing this to happen. And so generations and generations and generations have not, you know, have dropped the mantle. You see what I'm saying? Instead of just seeing them eye to eye. And understandably, we don't give a fuck what you got, because this deplorable state we in is the worst hell we could live in. We might as well go on and look him in his eye and deal with it. You understand what I'm saying? And the first one you deal with is the one that's caught up in your fucking brain, that's causing you to not deal with reality. You know, it's not all the time the one that's out here on the street, but the one that's deep down in your mind, controlling all the functions of your fucking brain. You understand what I'm saying? The first motherfucking enemy you destroy is the one in your motherfucking brain, nigga, that's stopping you from moving forward. Okay, good. I'm with you. Now, as we deal with this Greco-Roman, we understand that the Greeks, the freaks, the Romans, is the so-called epitome of European history. And they have been embellished to the point that they have, you know, they consider them the greatest civilizations of all time. And, you know, Greece is as small as Greece was. And Greece history really didn't even last that long. You understand what I'm saying? Greece as a empire really is only the period between Alexander and, you understand, the Ptolemies, okay? Which is, you know, Alexander conquered Egypt in 332 BC, okay? And we got to be clear. There is no Socrates. All of that is false reality. They was a barbarian group coming up out of Macedonia, coming up out of Greece, okay? We're not even understanding that it was Africans in that continent long before the European came up out of them caves, okay? So a lot of what's over there in Greece come from our indigenous African ancestors. That, not indigenous, but the first to colonize that landmass that we know of today as Europe. Even when you talk about Ireland, they talk about the Twa was there. And that, you understand what I'm saying? That these saints and shit, or whatever this motherfucker name that's supposed to come up. What's that motherfucker Irish motherfucker name? St. Patrick. Going over there, killing off the snakes and all this. And they talk about and the leprechaun and all of that is nothing but the twa. You understand that you see all over the planet. Okay. So our people was in there, long before any of these Europeans that you see there today. You see what I'm saying? They came down and, they amalgamated into the civilization. And so today, just like when hip hop started, you see all black people, wasn't no white people in there, couldn't even get in. Now you see all type of crazy crackers and shit, rapping and shit, and then they say the greatest of all time is now Eminem, a sick motherfucker. Talk about him, mama, and it don't make no difference. Just show you how sick he is. Talk about him, mama, suicidal. You understand what I'm saying? Ain't nothing in his ass spiritual, a demon. And they calling him the great. And so here you go from a great art form that was created by our people at a time when we needed a voice to speak. And we came up with what you call hip hop. Now today it belonged to the European. You go to the goddamn concerts and shit, and they out there, goddamn it, we can't even afford the goddamn tickets. Okay, so when you talking about civilization, no goddamn different. So when you talking about Europe, that was ours. Our people was there. And then when they came on the scene and they took it over and shit, and now all you see is these freaks and these Greeks, and they say they the authors of the civilization. They not, okay? And so we see that the Romans conquered Egypt, and I'm about to put the slides up there. I was looking for that mighty number. It's up there. We talking about the Romans conquered Egypt in 30 BC. Now you talking about the Nile Valley at this time is over 20, 30, 40,000 years old. You see what I'm saying? Let's be real about that. We talking, and we could go further than that. Okay, but we just trying to use a date that we know that is not embellishment. Embellishment is when you create some shit. When you got a pyramid like the pyramids of Giza, and not just that pyramid. I showed you many megalithic wonders of the world that would have taken any people hundreds of thousands of years to develop knowledge. We to create an advanced complex creation. Okay, a super advanced complex creation. Okay, because a creation like that would take 40, 50 different sciences to come together to make it happen. And each one of them sciences would have took 50, 60,000 years separately to develop it. You see what I'm saying? You not only did you build these massive monuments, you correlated them and synchronized them with the stars, but then you had to do the astronomy. You had to calculate the astronomy separately. You see what I'm saying? You got all type of geometry. You got, and so on and so forth. I went over a lot the metallurgy. You got to have the certain types of tools and shit. You know what I'm saying? But you got to study geology because you got to know what rocks, what elements are hard, which elements is soft. And so you got to go up under the ground. You got to be digging in the damn ground and mastering all the different elements of the earth. Not only the elements of the earth, the elements above the earth. Okay? So they not only studying the damn stars, they studying the atmosphere. Okay? All of that went into making Egypt what it is today. Okay? And so let me go on in and put these photos up. Let's get to work. I hope I got a lot of Greek freaks. You know what? Before I go, let me plug my computer up. Let me plug because it's going to die on me. Hold on. I'm coming. I have to get it. Let me get it, baby, so I can get to work. I got it. Don't go no goddamn where. I'm about to work out on these goddamn Greeks, these freaks. I'm gonna get on them. I put them on the same team. I say, goddamn it, this is 2 against 1 match. Family support out there. Hope I got some Greek freaks out there. Don't if they put something, don't delete them. Unless they being respectful. I want them to put up some shit. I want them to back some shit up. I got all my daggers right here. Okay, I got all my daggers. Hold up. Got all my daggers. Okay, where that one at? Hold up. Don't go. We about to roll. Once it go up, we roll. Okay. Okay. Well, now I'm primarily dealing with I'm gonna be dealing with they manuscripts too, which they ain't got none, which is clear. You know what I'm saying? Any scholars out there that want to refute me, motherfucker, put it up there. Tell me where I'm lying at, motherfucker, and I'll crush your ass live. Why it's going down? I'll crush your ass live. Okay. What that other one? We about to roll, family. Where's that down? I got so many down. Oh, there you go, right there. I wonder what the hell that down. All right. I'm gonna start right here. Let me get on these. Let's get on these, and then I'll backtrack. You understand what I'm saying? Then I'll backtrack. And I love this because the Greeks and Romans got a couple columns, and I want to be able to show the family exactly what you're dealing with. Okay, here we go. Let me get it up. All right, I'm ready. I'm ready to rock. Got everything up. Ready to rock. All right, we're in the house, family. Now you're dealing with supposedly 3 of the greatest Greek minds. Okay? These are still not the oldest. I wish I had that damn stolen legacy. You even have Thales and Pythagoras and all of that. You see what I'm saying? And, but these is the 3 most popular known Greek philosophers. Now, you got old Socrates. He supposedly lived around 470 to 399 BC. Now you could go, like George G.M. James said, and you'll find all kind of dates and shit for the man, okay? Because there is no ancient literature written or survived by Socrates, and nobody, matter of fact, let me just be real. There is no literature from ancient Greeks, okay? I'm gonna just be clear about this shit. And it's gonna hurt people. That majority of what you got today came when the white man, Gutenberg, came to have what you call the printing press. They did not have no goddamn literature, okay? And so they could go and backdate and put all kind of dates on this shit. You understand what I'm saying? But that is not what you call a primary reference, okay? A primary reference is an artifact, a literature, a manuscript that was written in 470 to 399 BC. They do not have that, okay? So whatever they have on the Greeks, are not primary references. Okay? And I'm standing on that. Any motherfucker out there that want to refute that, please bring the goddamn evidence and do it right goddamn now. Because that's all we're going to be dealing with today. You got Plato, okay? And he supposedly, he lived around 427 to 347 BC. Of course, this is also a disputed date because you got so many different dates for these individuals because they never lived, okay? And again, not only are there no books, and these men are supposedly, responsible for writing, a couple hundred books. You understand what I'm saying? This motherfucker's so great, they talking about he invented 20, 30 fucking sciences at one goddamn time because you's a thief. Motherfucker, you create a pseudo fucking name and then you gonna put all these sciences and shit under one motherfucker. See, that's the silly shit of the man. To think we that goddamn silly to believe one man would create all these goddamn sciences and shit. Okay? And then not be able to show one fucking book. You know what I'm saying? And again, we're not looking for just one book. We're looking for institution. Institution is the mass production of literature. When you go to the library, like, I used to work at the library when I was going to college. I worked at the library for damn near 4 years. I was the man up in the, I didn't tell a lot of people, I used to be up in there too. Whatever I saw, goddamn it, I got it. Fuck that. That's right. That's right. Just like Dr. Ben and say, I liberated some shit. You see what I'm saying? In certain books, you got 10, 15, 20 copies because it's a hot book. You understand what I'm saying? Like Malcolm X, the autobiography of Malcolm X. You understand what I'm saying? You had to have a lot of copies of that on, especially during Black History Month or any month, because, that was a book that a lot of teachers would, recommend that the kids read when they was doing book reports. So books like that, you're not just gonna have no one on the, that's mass, that's institution. See, institution is mass production of literature. I'm gonna go over that again. But if you was with me the other day, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So the fact, even if a motherfucker say they come up with one book, you understand what I'm saying? What the fuck does that do for a nation of people? You can't even have nations without a certain level of advancement, such as literature. Okay? If it was, when they talk about the greatest invention of all time, it's literature. It's paper, okay? That's what brought man to where paper, ink, is the greatest invention that brought us to where, because if you ain't got no damn paper, you can't even, I can't even see you having a fucking alphabet without paper. And so that one invention right there alone shocks, stops all other civilizations dead in they fucking tracks. Okay, and that's why they're in the predicament that they in right now. Because anytime you ask them where is they, because that's, those are the Jews of any nation, to show that they were highly advanced at an early date in language, and you know what I'm saying, and all types of thought. You can't develop thought without writing. You understand what I'm saying? When you start to write, that shit open up, portals in your brain nothing else can do. And then you collect the greater of your thoughts like that. If you try to remember, I know for a fact, when I start writing all my shit down, and anytime I get a thought and I keep writing it down, I'm collecting them. And that's what makes it hard for a nigga to go against you. When you think and you write all your great thoughts down and you keep writing and keep writing, even if you don't know how to say something, if you keep thinking about it and you write it down, and once you write it down, then you can master exactly what the fuck you trying to say. You cannot do that just freestyle. You cannot just do that with trying to remember. You cannot remember a blueprint on how to build a goddamn pyramid. It must be written down. So paper and ink is the most significant invention of all time. Okay, it's the most, the most significant invention of all time. And so Plato is supposedly accredited with the first institution. Now, right there, I'm like, what the fuck is you talking about? You don't have no literature. Okay, you do not have, why we cannot let them off the hook about nothing? Because when we went back, and I'm gonna go back there for people that didn't see the one on India, where we show the pyramid text, which go back all the way to the third up to the fifth dynasty. Okay, which is the oldest, right? No, was it in the fifth? I don't know if it was in the third, but it don't make no difference because they didn't just start in the fifth. Okay, they didn't start in the fifth, but those, that's the oldest that we have or able to see that they ain't hid away. You understand what I'm saying? But we know damn well when we look at them temples and them pyramids with all the writing, what we call the pyramid text, we are talking about hundreds of thousands, if not millions of glyph combinations. That's not nobody just starting. That's a people that's super advanced in language and all type of thought comprehension. The spirituality is fully developed. They've been doing this already for tens, if not hundreds of thousands of years, and we don't need to embellish. So if at 2700 BC or 2500 BC, even according to the lying white man's chronology, we got literature, how in the fuck is we gonna let them get away with not having a fucking book? And they come damn near 2,000 years after some, our oldest literature on the planet, still here, still visible to anybody that want to see it. And then this man wrote 200 fucking books, and you don't have one, not fucking one, or no one who lived during his time that even said or even wrote about it. That's just like Jesus. No contemporary historian of his era ever wrote of it. How in the fuck is that possible? And so he supposedly founded the academy, okay, which is the where he supposedly taught students, and they say he taught all these sciences and shit. They say Pythagoras. We already busted Pythagoras. How the fuck is the hypotenuse of the square, all this shit, and you can see it all in the pyramid. Damn near 3,000 years before Pythagoras' mammy was born, let alone Pythagoras. Okay, hypotenuse of the square. Well, you understand what I'm saying? Which is the damn triangle. Okay, what you see right there in the pyramid, 3,000 years before Pythagoras' mama was born. And so right there, we already got them lying, you understand, about the origin of these sciences. Okay? And then here you got Aristotle, who supposedly was a student of Plato, and I think Plato was a student of Socrates, if I'm not mistaken. That I don't know how the lie go, but they got many different lies, and Aristotle is the one that supposedly taught Alexander, a barbarian. He ain't left no manuscript. Okay? Nobody even know where the fuck his tomb is. Okay, you can go, 76, you can go, and we're going to go into this, but I got to warm you up. You understand? We got a record of the very first king of Egypt. We got a record. Matter of fact, we got his tomb. You understand? We talking about 31, and we can go before Norma. We can go up into Nubia. We can go up into Custul. We can go up further up the Nile where they got other burials. And that's why they put that damn dam, the Aswan Dam, to flood out Nubia, to destroy all the records showing that Nubia was the older and the mother of Egypt. And they didn't want that to be known because they was teaching our people that they was goddamn monkeys and shit rolling around in the mud. When they came to Africa, they say niggas was rolling around in the mud with a thong on, throwing mud pies with a goddamn chicken bone in his head. And you understand, chicken bone earrings and shit and nose rings and shit. Okay? And so they disgrace Africa. with the shit that they was teaching in the Western world. And so when people believe, you know, in their mind, they didn't have no other source of history. You understand what I'm saying? So they accepted the white man's a form of history about Africa. And when people began to, you know, see Africa in that light, they didn't want to be African because it was disgraceful. It was disgraceful. And so they did that to our people. And that's why we got to fight so hard and be relentless. I can't just teach just like a peck of wood. Oh, hey, and don't be emotional. Fuck that. I'm going to be emotional. I'm going in. I got to let the people know you got to give up on this shit because you ain't got no wind. Nigga, you walking off the damn ledge, nigga, you know what I'm saying? You just walking off, of your own will. You're not even trying to fight the fuck back. You just walking right off the goddamn edge. And so we got to holler, you know, you could be in shock. And sometimes when the people is in shock, you cannot be light on. You have to slap the shit out of them because they in shock. Not to hurt them, but if you don't get them out of shock, they're gonna die. You know what I'm saying? So motherfuckers say, why I'm loud? I say, God damn it, because you can't whisper to a nigga that's asleep in a coma, nigga. You got to get him up out that coma before he goddamn die. You see what I'm saying? So I scream on motherfuckers until they wake up. So you got Aristotle, supposedly is the teacher of this freak. And you already know, in many of Plato, Socrates, Aristotle, they was all boy lovers. Okay, these the greatest minds of the world, and they was all boy lovers. Every last one of them. You heard them. Many of them was killed and ran out of Greece, not for, you know, as if any of the other Greeks was any different, but for corrupting the minds of the youth. For corrupting the minds of the youth. So ain't no fucking telling what the hell was going on. So this is the freak that supposed, but you know, as Alexander came into Egypt and conquered it in 332 BC, you hear no record of Aristotle. Okay, how the hell you not gonna be? How the hell you not gonna come in the intellectual capital of the world and not, you know, indulge in the booty? You understand what I'm saying? Anytime another nation conquer another nation, they always get the intellectual property. That's just how it go. When the United States, Russia, Britain, France conquered Germany, they got their goddamn scholar and they scientists. What they call that shit, Operation Paperclip, where they went over there and got all them damn scientists. That's just automatically. When they went into Iraq, what the goddamn scientists who made these bombs? That's who they going. They want the leaders and they want the scientists. That's just automatic. Okay, so just like George M.J., we don't hear no record of Aristotle. Aristotle is a myth. Plato is a myth. You understand what I'm saying? All of that shit is a myth. And the crazy shit, and you got to see what they doing. And if you line it up, you can see, number one, we don't have to go through, you know, too much to prove that they did not have institution. Okay? Because once we go over what institution is, and I'll go over it quickly and I'm gonna move through it. You understand? Not like I did the other day, but just to give you the facts of what it takes. Number one, you got to have paper and ink and a pen to have it, because, you know, you're not going to tell me you got a goddamn alphabet and you ain't got nothing to write on. Okay? You understand what I'm saying? Motherfucker can freestyle rap all the fuck he want. But until that nigga get some paper and write that shit down, then how can we prove that this nigga is even literate? You understand what I'm saying? When the niggas start writing, then, because some niggas just go up there and rap. You understand what I'm saying? Some niggas just do that. You know what I'm saying? That don't mean you literate. Then nigga, you freestyling. Okay? But when it come time to make them goddamn songs, the majority of them niggas gonna have to write that shit down and get some type of structure on that shit. You see what I'm saying? Everybody ain't gonna be able to. Now, some niggas can go up there and, you know, and they, you know, but that don't prove you literate. You see what I'm saying? So the first thing you got to have is paper, you got to have ink, you got to have a pen, and you got to have an alphabet. No, you understand what I'm saying? Those are the first four things, starting with the damn paper, okay? That shit gonna have to damn near come into existence simultaneously. Those four things, paper, ink, pen, and alphabet. But you just can't have an alphabet. You got to have words. So from the alphabet, the ink, the pen, the paper, then you create words from the alphabet, okay? Then you got to have dictionaries because you have to define the damn words. And then you have to start, creating sentences, which will cause you to have some type of grammatical rules. You understand what I'm saying? In order to put the words together and speak them. And then you go, once you have that, you have a dictionary, you go into the deeper concepts, which would be in the textbooks, which are the encyclopedias of the sciences and arts in which you're dealing with. So right there, I done went over 5, 6 things. What did I go over? I went over paper, ink, pen, alphabet, dictionary, grammatical rules, encyclopedias, which we call textbooks. That's 6 things right there, okay? Automatically, we can see that the Greeks did not have that. They did not have that until they contact with Egypt. Aristotle, Socrates, Plato was prior to fucking Alexander coming into Egypt. Okay, so the question is, if they had institution, if Plato had an institution where he was teaching all these sciences and arts like they claim he had, what did he write on? Okay, they said they had books. What the fuck did they write them on? That's clear. What did you write and where are they? To prove that you do not have that. You do not have primary sources of any of those philosophers at all. And it's going to kill motherfuckers, the oldest manuscripts of many of these goddamn philosophers and all that. That shit is in the 10th century AD. And these motherfuckers supposedly live 400, 500 years BC. So you're talking about a millennium and a half. And that's sick that motherfuckers allow that much time to elapse and allow somebody to create a fraudulent one book and say, oh, we found fucking Plato book in a goddamn grave. Some motherfucker wasn't mass produced. That's all I need to know. Because if it was not mass produced, then you do not have institution. Okay, you do not have that, and you got to prove that you had a valuable instruments, paper and ink and all of that to have an institution. And you do not have that. Okay, now once you got the paper, you got the ink, you got the pen, you got the alphabet, you got the dictionary, you got the grammatical rules, you got the encyclopedia, textbooks of every science. Then you got to have a place where the people can come and receive that information, such as universities, temples, and libraries. Okay, and so in the ancient world in Egypt, it was the temple. Okay, that's where you went and got your information from. Okay, and so now, along with those 6 things, now you got to have the teachers. Okay, of course you got to have the teachers. And you got to have multitudes of teachers to have institution. It can't be just no 2 or 3. Just like the United States or any modern nation, if everybody is going to school, and we went over that, you got to have millions of teachers. I think it's a couple of million of teachers in the United States. I'm gonna go over that again to prove that. You understand what I'm saying? You got over 50, 60, 70 million students from kindergarten to the university in the United States. Okay, so that's an institutionalized nation. You got multitudes of students. You got multitudes of teachers. That's institution. 2, 3 motherfuckers in a basement, some goddamn way, is not no goddamn institution. You got to be teaching masses. BPC is an institution. God damn it, I done touched millions of goddamn people, not no 2 or 3 motherfuckers. Okay, I done touched millions, tens of millions of people down through the years. Tens of millions of people. That's institution. Okay, that's multiplicity of people. Unlike some of these 2-bit ass niggas out here, you understand, got 3 niggas on their page. Mama and daddy is the other 2 of them, and an old rusty ass nigga out there that don't know what the fuck is the 3rd nigga. You understand what I'm saying? You ain't got that ain't no institution. Okay? And I tell you, get out the paper, and I tell you to write it down, and I'll give you the references, and that's institution. It's going, and you pass it down to your baby. That's institution. And we keep it going on and on. We record the information and we pass down the written record to our babies. And they are, expected to continue to teach it to their babies. That's institution. And we got records of our ancestors. You understand? From millennium past. That's institution. Okay? We got the records of it. You understand what I'm saying? The records that I write are primary sources of my day and age. So nobody have to come back goddamn 3,000 years from now and say, this SETI, write anything. I'm going to have that. You ain't got to worry about it, and it will be mass produced. You understand what I'm saying? And no one motherfucker will just have one. That's like all the videos I put out, and one motherfucker, got one video of generalseti, and I probably didn't put out damn thousands of videos down through the age. You can go up there and find niggas didn't uploaded shit I ain't even got no more. That's that's verification that other people in that day and time know of you, and not one motherfucker outside, and not even the author, Plato, ever have any proof that they ever existed, nor did they have anybody of their day right of them. So you got to have multitudes of teachers. You got to have who are proficient in multitudes of subjects, sciences and arts. Just like when you go to the university, that's institution. You got all types of sciences and art. When you get your book out, when you start choosing your classes, you got class, and it's teachers that teach in every fucking class. So you got, and then you got to have multitudes of students ready to receive them information. And that's these 76 million students that's in the United States. And then when you go to the libraries that I showed you, the top 10, you see why you got institutions that got 50 million volumes, 50 million books, because you are institutionalized nation. Is no reason for a motherfucker to have one book in no institute. That's the very opposite of institution. Anybody that come up with one, and all you got is one book, that's not institution. That's a lie. They fraudulently created that book. So here you got the Greeks supposedly in Egypt studying, but you can't find now, this is really they enlightenment into what you would call institution when they went into Egypt, and they still didn't catch it at that time. You understand? Because it was so new to them. They wasn't in, you think them goddamn Greeks was in the temple studying? They didn't even have an alphabet. They didn't even fucking know, they didn't even have an alphabet. The Egyptians under conquest added an alphabet to the Greek language. So what they call in Greek as an alphabet is African. They did not have no damn alphabet. How the hell you gonna have an alphabet and you ain't even got paper? What the fuck you gonna do? What did you develop it on? And where's the goddamn books? And I'm gonna keep coming to that. So this is embellishment. This is what I'm showing. And I'm dedicating this whole series to my master teacher, Walter Williams, in this particular area, because he taught this to me. And once I got it, I said, God damn, Professor Walter Williams, God damn, man, I got to thank you straight up for this part of me that you gave me. Because once I understood it, I said, God damn, that man has been telling the truth and it hurt, motherfuckers. It hurt. It hurt. I keep all my major teachers, and use them just like the chessboard, and Walter Williams most definitely is one of those teachers that you must study. And when you study him, and it might take some time for that shit to click, but when it click, woo, you're gonna be a beast. Now, look at this. Now, when Alexander, hear me out, when Alexander, here he is, you understand? What the fuck I got up there? I know I ain't got no goddamn great. Ready? Boy, you must have been going too goddamn fast. Alexander the Free. I had to go in there and change that shit. Okay? Alexander the Free. He conquers Egypt in 332. He conquers Egypt in 332. He didn't die. He died about 20 years later. Thank the ancestors. Okay, and so now when he died, Ptolemy took over, was one of his generals. Okay, he took over in 320. He took over, and this is really the Greeks' opportunity to get what they can out of Egypt. Okay, this is their greatest opportunity. Okay, many people talking about even when you watch 48 Hours, when they tell you if you don't crack that case in the first 48 hours, you know what happens? You lose half, the opportunity to crack the case. If you 50, you got 50% chance of cracking that case if you don't crack it in the first 48 hours. So the Ptolemy is the first 48 hours of the European world to crack what they can out of ancient Egypt. Motherfuckers do it, giving Champollion all this motherfucker. No, it was Ptolemy had the greatest opportunity because they had Egypt under forced conquest. They was in there under arms. So, if a motherfucker twist a couple arms, of course, they can get some type of information. Even the goddamn cracker do that today. Many niggas be up there on 48 hours snitching like a motherfucker. All you had to do is twist a couple arms. So the thing is, we imagine that the Greeks was in there at that time twisting arms. So if any type of deciphering of the so-called Medunetta, our ancestor sacred language, if it was gonna happen, it would have happened under the Ptolemy. And goddamn it, and the Romans would have been the last 48 hours. Because the goddamn Ptolemies was in there for almost 300 years. They was in there for almost, they got out of there. They was put out in 30 BC. That's when the Romans took over. So you talking about 300 years, and they produced no manuscripts showing a Greek, because they was in there trying to learn a language from the basic concept of what we understand as language. They wasn't in there trying to decipher shit. They was in there A, B, C, motherfucker. That's where they was. They wasn't in there on no high intellectual shit because they was a fucking band of savages. These are the facts. Y'all let the embellishment that they was great philosophers and shit and all of this, you let that shit cloud your mind of reality. This is a nation of barbarians, not intellectuals. Okay, so again, if there was going to be any translation or decipherment of any type of ancient Egyptian, this was their first 48 hours. And when Ptolemy was dethroned by the Romans, they had not produced not one, them couple of goddamn stones like the Rosetta. There we go with that one book shit. Okay, how the fuck could y'all be in there for over 300 years? And we only find maybe two damn what you call bilingual artifacts, where you got the Greek, the so-called Greek, and the Medunetta, and maybe the Demotic. You got three scripts. It's a bilingual text because you got the Egyptian and the Greek. So if y'all in there 300 fucking years, ask me why they only got two fucking artifacts with some bilingual fucking script on it. If you in there for 300 years and you already are intellectual people, we should find libraries of that shit. Fool? Y'all some fools on that shit. So the Ptolemies got put up out of there. That was your first 48 hours. Then the Romans came in there and they couldn't do no more than the Greek because they were behind the 8 ball. Because 300 years had already went by. 300 years had already went by. So when they came in there, it was more, it had been dead for a minute. You understand? The family then went, not dead in the sense that we wasn't speaking it, but we didn't went back up the river. And so whoever was in Egypt, they were more Greek than they were Egyptian. So by the time the Romans got there, shit, they was dealing with a bastardized fucking people at that time. So they didn't have no opportunity. And so they say, fuck it, we taking our shit to Constantinople. That's exactly what they did. They packed it up. You understand what I'm saying? They put the fucking Greeks up out of there. They made it a colony, and they took their show to fucking Constantinople and created fake ass Christianity to replace the Egyptian spirituality, because they could not interpret it, nor was the Africans ever gonna give it to them. If they was in there for 300 fucking years and they didn't get no type of major translations, it's because our people would not break and give them the sacred language. And to call out Constantine a fucking faggot, a goddamn bloodline of the Ptolemy, the oppressor, and say he deciphered the sacred writings of our people is the most blasphemous shit I have ever heard come out of the conscious community. That's why ain't no consciousness. What the fuck is you conscious of? So we dealing with the fact that under this period, okay, Alexander, they stole all of the libraries out of the temples because Ptolemy wanted to be worshipped as a god. And the Africans say, we're not worshiping you. And so when you see Soter means savior, okay? And this is where you get you. So Serapis was deified as a god who is symbolically Ptolemy at this time. And you can see that many of the statues, they remove Osiris and put Serapis next to Isis. So right there, they've been trying to remove us from our woman from a long time. You see what I'm saying? They still doing that shit today. You can go right up on the goddamn fucking TV, The Last Samurai, a fucking white boy, and he get away with the man wife. He kills the man and end up with his wife. What was that motherfucker Tom Cruise? The last of the Mohicans was a goddamn white man. Goddamn, it gonna be the last nigga, and that goddamn motherfucker gonna be played by motherfucking Tom Cruise. Last of the niggas, okay? Played by Tom Cruise. You let these motherfuckers come in, and so this been an ancient strategy of them to remove us from our woman. So Serapis was Soter, was Ptolemy Soter, the savior. And so he deified himself, but the Africans would not worship him. God damn it. And the hell you understand? You dethroning the African man. And at that time, we had a lot more fight in us. We would not let this happen. And so what happened was when we did not accept them as a savior, they closed our temple. That was under Theodosius. Okay, I'll get to him. So once we did not worship Ptolemy, okay, and would not accept him as a deity, he closed down all our temples and robbed the libraries, took the riches in the libraries, and he stored it in a sanctuary in Memphis, okay, which was later to be called the Serapeum, okay, and later on it would be called the Library of Alexandria, okay, and this is the embellishment of it. They didn't have nothing to do with not a goddamn scroll, okay, nothing. They stole our scrolls and they put them in this and stole them and stored them in a sanctuary to keep us from our spirituality. You understand? No different than they stole all our damn artifacts and put them in the goddamn museum. You see what I'm saying? And deny us a right to go in there and look at it. You see what I'm saying? And so they didn't know how to read it. So they tried to get some small time priests to give them, but you got to understand, it took the masters to read that information. And the masters, before they even got in there, they had already sent the masters up the river. Okay, they didn't lead the masters down there to be captured. So the master teachers had already, when they started coming in, anytime something like that happened, the most important people gonna get taken out of there. So whoever was left, they was insignificant. They didn't have the ability to read the metal letter like the master teachers. Okay, even one of them fake Greeks and shit, and he was fake too, but the information in it was correct. They said that the language of the metal letter came from Ethiopia, and that everybody in Ethiopia, Nubia, could read it, but only in Egypt, only the priests could read it. Okay, and the reason why is they have foreigners in the land, and they could not reveal it to everybody. Okay, but in Ethiopia, the motherland, where and there wasn't no foreigners in the land, everybody could speak it openly. This is the understanding. We got now when the showers and the Romans is coming in, Julius Caesar with his corrupt ass, when they were conquering Greece, somehow, and it's just like Walter Williams said, this show you the level of barbarity of them. You understand what I'm saying? Because truly, if they were intellectual people, they would have seized that library. They wouldn't have even, but they can't read it, so it don't mean nothing to them. So they burnt the damn library down. They burnt it down. All our ancestors, this is the greatest crime in the history of and I ain't gonna even say humanity, because they ain't even a part of humanity, of African history, African culture, to destroy all of that. And it was hundreds of thousands, possibly millions of years of research. Cannot get it back. Cannot get it back. So they destroy. Now, check this out. Check this out. This is how they do. They claim that Aristotle, after Alexander conquered, he was the one that came and started the research center with all our scrolls. How you gonna do that? So it's really an operation where they coming in and trying to get the little priest that they probably had who couldn't read it to try to decipher it. And they say when Aristotle came to Egypt, he brought the library of Plato, and his library was stored at the research center of Alexandria, which is the storehouse of all our scrolls. And so they got all these great minds that supposedly was at this research. They Greeks. If you go look it up and see, this is how they get away with not being able to produce no literature, because they say all of the literature of Plato and Aristotle and all the other great Greeks was stored in Alexandria. So when they burnt the library up, then they burnt up all the original manuscript. But then it come back down to the fact of mass production. How y'all didn't send none of that shit back to Greece? How the hell you just got one book and what the fuck is y'all up in there jacking each other off? You got the institution, mean you teaching the masses. So y'all just in the institution, but who the fuck are y'all teaching? Y'all not teaching no goddamn about if that was what y'all was doing. So they use this, it's almost like it kills two birds with one stone. This burning of the library of Alexandria, because they destroy all of our ancestors' teachings, and then they know they need an answer when people ask, well, where's the Greek scroll? They need an answer, and they don't have none. So this was a lie that they could use and say, well, they burnt up in the research center of Alexandria. So they use that lie. And bitch, I don't get it. Once you understand institution, you cannot let them get away with that. Okay? Now, let me go over here to this. And I'm going to show y'all something. I'm going to show y'all something. Just to prove it. Just to prove it. Just to prove it. Now, these was the original 7 wonders of the world. The Great Pyramids, we already know, is not the only wonders of Africa. It shouldn't have been nothing on there but African monuments. But you can see that the monuments of Africa, the only ones you ain't got to wonder about. Now, when you come down here And you notice this, what I just said about the books. They don't have no scrolls. They ain't got no primary references, okay? No primary sources. Now, dig this. Out of all them wonders, you know, one of them was African. The other 6 was Greek. No one has ever seen any one of them motherfuckers for real. Okay? How is it? Listen to me. And you claiming to be the greatest civilization of all time, and you ain't got one major monument that's still standing. And I'm gonna get off into your little weak ass temples in a minute. So this is the lighthouse of Alexandria. Okay? So we ain't got no scrolls from ancient Greece. Not one. Not one. Not a goddamn one. Okay? Now the lighthouse of Alexandria, not there. Pyramids 3,000 years older than the lighthouse of Alexandria. Pyramids still there. Lighthouse of Alexandria, unknown. Said it was built around 280 BC. Ain't seen. Then you got the Colossals of Rhodes. Okay? Bronze and iron statue of the sun god Helios was built in the Greek city of Rhodes in 280 BC as a war monument. Okay? They say it was destroyed in an earthquake in 226 BC. What happened to the lighthouse? Okay, and 14 materials from the, wait a minute. Numerous earthquakes took their toll. Goddamn, it's a whole lot of earthquakes. I wonder why they ain't hit none of them Egyptian temples then. Okay, so many goddamn earthquakes. Goddamn, because when you are the level of African architects, you build earthquake-proof shit, nigga. That's why. The mausoleum of Hyrcanus, whatever the fuck it is. Okay? And this is where you get the Scottish Rite Museum. This is what they built this like, supposedly. Okay? It was located in Turkey, southwestern Turkey. It was built around 350 BC. The structure was destroyed by a series of earthquakes. Well, goddamn. What kind of shit is this? That's a hell of a goddamn earthquake. It's knocking all your shit down. This is what I'm talking about. Y'all let these motherfuckers put all this shit up here. Is embellishment. This picture right here is not a primary source. It is. They don't even have the fucking shit where it fell down. They don't even have the rubble. They don't have nothing. Okay? Let's go down. The temple of Artemis at Ephesus. Okay? Ephesus. Okay? And so I guess this it right here. Okay? I guess this it. Man, listen. They got little bitty, and I ain't saying all the queen pyramids is small. They got little bitty queen pyramids. Better than that. Grander than that. Go up. I'm talking about the little ones. I'm not even talking about the big ones. I'm talking about the little ones. It's better than that. Okay? So they trying to make you think, and then you got the statue of Zeus at Olympia. Where that at? The statue was lost or destroyed sometime in the 5th century. And they say this motherfucker was 40 feet tall. How the fuck do you lose a 40? Who the fuck do you think you talking to? You just lose a 40-foot tall fucking statue? How do you hide that? You see what I'm saying? The statue was lost or destroyed sometime in the 5th century. Okay? The hanging gardens of Babylon. They ain't hanging no goddamn more. Okay? What happened to them? Okay? Around 600 BC, they may have been around 7. However, archaeologists have found no substantial evidence to confirm the gardens ever exist. See what I'm saying? And so these is the so-called 6 One of them was from Babylon. And that's what I said about Mesopotamia. Okay? That all of that shit is embellishment. Okay? Now let me go on back over here to these temples. Let me go on back over here so we can work out. So, not one of the so-called wonders from Greece has ever been seen. So they're gonna make you think that the Greeks was in here compiling and cataloging scrolls and shit. You understand? Nah, this is the see, can't get no Medu now. The Africans is not giving them no, and so it's time they know if the Africans is not gonna give them the knowledge. Egypt at this time, even at 392, is still the spiritual capital of the world. Okay? It's still the spiritual capital of the world. Peoples is still coming from all around the world to go. And the Romans know that even though they didn't conquer Egypt, unless they break the spiritual connection to the world, until they break that, the Romans will never have control. You understand? The African still is ruling through righteousness and spirituality. So they say, well, if we cannot get the knowledge, we got to break the backs of the priesthood. And so Theodosius in 392 passes an edict to close all the Egyptian temples. And with that, he also supposedly closed the Greek so-called mysteries, which they didn't have none. Okay, that's just a lie. Okay, so at that point, then the priesthood went underground. It went underground. It has been underground. You understand? It might have came up once or twice. You understand what I'm saying? Since 392, but it was for a small period. When the Arabs came in, it went back underground. Okay, and it's underground right now. So this is key. And this is key to show you how the Romans and the Greek, and people say, they didn't get a goddamn thing out of Egypt, the Greek nor the Roman. Okay, because see, they closed the temples in 392, okay, AD, Theodosius. And at this time, the capital of the Roman Empire is in Constantinople. It's not in Rome, okay? Rome is a washed up village at this time, okay? No, the Romans themselves, Constantine already knew that, it wasn't nothing jumping off. He had to go to Constantinople, which is today Istanbul, and made it his capital because it was a interlocking area of the world which controlled a lot of, a lot of exports and imports, a lot of trade, and so it was a central area, and so Rome didn't have that kind of power. And so from that point on, when you're talking about the Roman Empire, you got to understand it was the Eastern Empire and the Western Empire. The majority of the Roman Empire was in the West, was in Byzantium. They call it's still Rome, but it's the Byzantine Empire is the Western branch of the Roman Empire. And from I think around 330, right around it was like 322, something like that, where AD, 330, 322 AD, where Constantine moved the capital to Constantinople, which is modern day Istanbul. Okay, and so that's they setup. So, but when you talking about Rome City and Greece, see that when they closed the Egyptian temple, when they tried to cut Egypt and cut the throat of Egypt, it closed Rome. It closed Greece. That show you that they was feeding off of Egypt all along. What they call the Dark Ages started with the fall of Rome, which is around 500 which is about around 476. So they closed the temple in 392. And so at 476, the fall of Rome, it wasn't but 100 years after that. They had killed their golden goose. They didn't get a goddamn thing out. And so they knew it was time to move on at that point. And so they went to Constantinople. They set up a new operation, and Greece and Rome failed. You understand what I'm saying? Greece and Rome failed with the closing of the Egyptian temples. So the fall of Rome, the traditional date for the end of the end, is the year 47, what I'm talking about, 476, when a Germanic chief, Odoacer, overthrew the last Roman emperors of the western half of the empire. Okay, so the eastern half was the Byzantium. I might have said west, but the eastern half was Byzantium, ruled by Constantinople, and the western half was ruled by Rome. So when they closed the temples of ancient Egypt, that cut the Mediterranean off from its mama. They cut the Mediterranean off from its mama that gave it life, which was the Nile Valley. And they ass went into a dark age, okay, which lasted longer than what they're trying to say. They say the dark ages, the period in Western Europe between the fall of the Roman Empire and high Middle Ages, 500 to 1100 AD, which is untrue. That shit went on longer than that because they had the goddamn black, which is the white death, not black death. It's white death because there wasn't no black people dying. It was all white people. That shit was 1340 peaking from 1347 to 1351. I'll read that too. Okay. The Black Death, also known as the Great Plague, the Black Plague, again, the White Plague, or simply the plague, was one of the most devastating pandemics in human history, resulting in the deaths of an estimated 75 to 200 million people. That's how filthy they were. The Black Death was the first major European outbreak of the second plague pandemic. You see that pandemic? You see that pan in front of the pandemic? That lets you know what's going down. The plague created a series of religious, social, and economic upheavals which had a profound effect on the course of European history. So how the hell how the hell you have institutions? How the hell you have institution and all of that? And when they closed the Egyptian temple, y'all went into the dark ages and did not come out of them until the creating of the printing press, and still you couldn't get it off the ground for 200-300 years more because you had to take that time to educate the European populace into an alphabet, and then bring in, you got to mass produce the literature, but you got to have a populace that's able to understand what the hell you printing. You can't print up a whole lot of books if the people ignorant. So they had to spend a couple hundred years just getting the populace of Europe even to know what an alphabet, and then get them to understand words and shit, and this, that, and the third. So you talking about the white people did not get institution until 1800s. For the first time did they ever have institution, mass production of books. That came with Gutenberg, not before. I'm breaking this shit down for y'all. They had no mass production of literature in the ancient world, okay, at all. Not under Greece, not under goddamn Rome. Now I'm gonna go off into Byzantium. I'm gonna go off into Byzantium and see what they got. I'm gonna see what they got. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna see what they got, but it ain't much, because at this point in time, you out to fight. Because you talking about, you talking about into the AD period. You talking about 1400 is when businesses. So You know, y'all motherfuckers still didn't have a printing press. Y'all still had an ignorant populace. Okay, so these is facts. These is facts. These is motherfucking facts that the European did not have institution, universities, educational system on no level until damn near the 1800s. I'm just going to be real with you. Until the 1800s, do you see it on the level that you see today? Starting to, be on an institutionalized level. So Africans was institutionalized 4, 5,000, 6,000 BC. So, I mean, we, and be even older than that. They is ashamed to tell the world how far behind Africa, and not just them, everybody else. Everybody else is just as much behind the African as the European. Let me get some water, y'all. Let me get some water. And I'm gonna bring it to the end. Let me bring it to the end. Y'all getting that work today. Getting that work. Getting that work. Getting that work. Y'all ain't give me this time so I can, put it down like I need to. Okay, I'm gonna go over this again. The Black Death, I need to go over that. No, I already did that. So what we're gonna do right now, is to go over these temples. Just so you can see. You done been bluffed. Talking about Pythagoras and Socrates and all of this. Okay? Here you got the temple of Zeus. Now these are the best of their temples. I didn't go get no anything. I looked it up. And I took it straight from them. I'm that kind of person. I'm not going to shortchange your own shit. Bring your best. I don't want nobody to come back and say, oh, said he didn't put the motherfucker, I put the best they had up there. Okay? Now, they say this was built in the 6th century BC. How they prove that, I don't know. You see what I'm saying? But you can see that, and I can show you that that's an Egyptian style. So whoever the architects was, 9 times out of 10, they were African. Okay? You see here, I'm going to show you, this is what they got left. Now, I'm talking about this the best. Now, I got more, but this was one of the best that they had on the damn list. You see? And so they didn't know, like you got to, and this is, I don't know exactly where in Greece, but this is the temple of Olympian Zeus. And it's supposedly built around the 6th century, but they didn't finish the motherfucker until the 2nd century. How the fuck it gonna take you that goddamn long to complete one goddamn temple? Goddamn Africans then built damn near 20, 30 fucking pyramids in that time that's still standing 3,000 years before this one was built, and it take them damn to the 6th century BC. Goddamn, it took y'all motherfucker damn near 600, not even 800 goddamn years. If you started in the 6th century BC and you finished in the 2nd, it took, and the motherfucker still ain't standing. That you mean to tell me you didn't put all, let me go ahead. This is the temple of Poseidon. Look at this, 440 BC, 440 BC. How they know this, I don't know. They don't have no manuscripts. Again, they don't have no manuscripts. So how are they, how do they get a chronology if you don't have no original manuscript to prove this? Where are they getting this from? Because the people that they are not primary fucking references. And I'm going to go over that again before I leave out. Okay? And so they don't have no walls. They don't have no writing or nothing. This is another temple of Zeus at Serene. Okay. This might be in North Africa, if I'm not mistaken. 11, 115 AD. 115 AD. Ain't got nothing but some beat up columns. Okay. They not, even the columns at Saqqara look better than that. And they were built at 2700 BC. Okay. You don't get no respect for that. This is the Erectheum. The Erectheum. Okay. 421 BC. How they get this date, I cannot tell you, because they have no chronology from or primary sources of chronology. I don't know how they get the date. Okay. And so these are the best. And I'm going to show you the website where I got them from. They're European people. So I let them choose their own temples. Okay. And so this is one of the best that they got. Okay. 421 BC. At this time, the Greeks is damn near, the Persians are supposedly in control of Egypt. Africa, the last African ruler ruled around 600 BC. So Egypt is over with as far as native rule. It's not over with in the respects of influence, but as a ruling its own nation, there are no longer native rulers of Egypt. Okay, so in that respect, it's over with. And so, I mean, still, the last African ruler has passed over 200 years, and this is all you got. This is all you got. Look at this. Okay, this is the best that they got. The Temple of Apollo, 450 to 400 BC. Okay, see how they keep it around that time? You know, that's suspicious. That don't show you that you have a broad base of temples over a long period of time. Shit, you could go from every period in Egypt, from the old kingdom to the new kingdom, even to when the colonizers came in. You got literature, you never stop. It's all different ages of architecture in Egypt. And so all they damn temples is right around this same damn time. Okay, so this is 450 to 400 BC. Okay, this is the Doric Temple of Segesta. Okay, 5th century BC. 5th century. Nothing at all to brag about. Okay, marble all eroded. Okay, this is the Parthenon, 432 BC. Okay, they've been trying to prop that piece of shit up for the longest. They done everything, and a lot of this shit done already fell down. And they've been propping that shit up, trying to keep it up. Okay, and you know what I'm saying? That motherfucker had fell down. They say an earthquake knocked that and the reason why earthquakes probably knocking that shit down, because the shit is inferiorly put up in the first goddamn place. But as far as them wonders, that shit wasn't no wonder, and it never was there. I wonder how in the fuck they been getting away with that goddamn lie for so goddamn long. So this is a Concordia in Sicily, Italy. Okay, this is a Greek temple there. And so the temple of Hephaestus, okay, all you see is some columns, okay, and that's that. That's the Greek. Now this the Roman, okay, 1st century, okay, 1st century. Let you see the side of this shit, okay? Let you see the side of it. Column, you can see the columns all been peeling. The original, you know, marble that was gone off of it. Okay, you can see it's really not a big temple at all. Okay, this is from the top, no roof, and then, you know, there's no roof. Now, some of the Egyptian temple don't got no roofs. Many of them got roofs. Okay, look at this. This is the best you got. You got a column, got a couple columns. The columns is weak. You see what I'm saying? Garnini Temple, 1st century AD. Okay, you can't go inside these motherfuckers because there's nothing inside of them. They won't let you go in them. You understand what I'm saying? All you could do is walk around that motherfucker. The Temple of Augustus, 28 BC, no, 2 BC to 14 AD. Look at that piece of shit. Look at it. Temple, okay, that's the same temple. Now, these some other structures that I'm going to go through. And, this is the Pantheon. Okay, the Pantheon. Okay, and this is probably the oldest, best preserved Roman temple. And that right there sum it all up. Sum it all up. They stole all the obelisks up out of Egypt and put them in front of all they damn, including St. Peter's Basilica. You see what I'm saying? They got something like 12 obelisks from ancient Egypt all around the Rome in front of a lot of these fake ass buildings. And a lot of them is basilicas. You see what I'm saying? They basilicas. You know what I'm saying? Which is Christianity, which proves beyond any reasonable doubt where they got the majority of the information from to even create the shit, which ain't nothing but Serapis worship. Okay? And me and Pharaoh gonna be doing the Catholic Church Exposed this Sunday. You need to go on either one of our Facebook pages. It'll be in the description, and see the guys work out. See the guys work out. Go and get that ticket. Go on and get that ticket. It's gonna be well worth it. Probably gonna have 7-8 hours of the guy. Oh, that's how you learn. If you about that kind of work, then you show up. Okay? Then you show up. Support the guys, because we out here teaching. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of this, like I said, I'm giving it up for the family, so I could keep the level of consciousness in our people at a high level. You know what I'm saying? So y'all come on out this Sunday and support the guys while we put this work in. You see what I'm saying? And so these is the tallest Roman columns that ever been constructed. Okay? The temple is not there, but these columns was 70 feet high. This Baalbek, this is in Lebanon, if I'm not mistaken. So they had three temples here. I don't think you can even go in that. You can't go in none of their temples. So this is the best that they have to offer. Now I'm gonna go up to I'm gonna go on over here and show y'all this. Let me show y'all this. So, the family that didn't get a chance to see the Indian one. So now when you come over here and see these columns, you see what I'm saying? When you come over here and see these columns in Luxor, and you come down over here to Karnak, and you see these. These right here is 79 feet tall. And you got 134. The Romans only had 6 up there. And you can see that they still, and the thing about our people when I talk about institution, you see, they got writing over everything. Everything, all the way to the top. All the way to the top. All the way to the top of the, you know what I'm saying? Where you don't even expect, look at that, all up under. Anything they can write on. That's what I talk when I'm talking about institution. You see what I'm saying? And so, wait a minute, what happened? It went out on me. Hold on, family. So let me read this right here. For the largely, and I don't want to read that. For the largely uneducated ancient Egyptian population. See how they try to play? You think our ancestors would have wrote all that for 2 motherfuckers? Y'all got to be serious. See, they lie because they got an uneducated populace. Okay? They done found millions of scrolls in ancient Egypt. So that's a lie. This could only have been the place of God. It is the largest religious building ever made, covering about 200 acres, okay, and was a place of pilgrimage for nearly 2,000 years. The area of the sacred enclosure, that's right there where the large columns is, of Amun alone is 61 acres and could hold 10 average European cathedrals. The great temple at the heart of Karnak is so big that St. Peter's, that's where the Pope, Milan, and Notre Dame cathedrals would fit within his walls. The hypostyle hall at 54,000 square feet and featuring 134 columns is still the largest room of any religious building in the world. Even to this date. So I'm going to go through this very quickly so that family can see. Again, we have handed aligned civilization a heavy defeat. We got the first pyramid stone structure ever built by the great Imhotep for his Sultan King Zoser 2668. We talking about 3000 BC, still standing. See that? Then you got the Pyramid of Meidum, started by the Sultan Huni in 2599 and was completed, but it wasn't, it didn't reach full completion. It was picked up by Sneferu at 2575 BC. Okay, the outer shell fell down. Then Sneferu came behind that and constructed the Bent Pyramid, 2600 BCE, still standing. You can go by. And then he came back. Sneferu put more stone down than any one pharaoh ever. And then he came back and made the first complete true pyramid, the Red Pyramid, 2613 BCE. Okay, beautiful. And then his son, his grandson, and his great-grandson came behind him. You understand what I'm saying? Built these, and this is in the beginning of Egypt. This is the 4th dynasty. Imhotep is in the 3rd dynasty. Okay, and Huni, if I'm not mistaken, was in the 3rd dynasty. And then Sneferu came in the 4th dynasty, the first king of the 4th dynasty, starting with the Bent Pyramid. Then he jumped to the Red Pyramid. Then his son, his grandson, and his great-grandson put down the 3 most famous structures on the planet Earth. Pyramid of Khufu. Look at that. Look at that. That one structure alone could defeat, you could take all the Indian temples, all the Greek temples, all the Roman and put them together. And they couldn't even want to compare. Nigga, they tap out before the fight even gets started. 40 stories, over 2 million blocks, averaging 10 tons apiece. You got some 100 tons, and they close to the top. 100-ton blocks at the top. And then you got the Sphinx, 8. You understand what I'm saying? Showing our face, and they were so jealous that they went and knocked the nose and the lips off because it looked just like what it is, African. They was ashamed that they could be so far behind in civilization to even, witness, look upon the greatness of Africa. They was ashamed. The Ark of Khufu. We're not talking about no Noah's Ark, none of that shit. Okay? Noah ain't never had. This is the Ark of Khufu, 4th dynasty. Showing we had advanced long before Egypt. Then you're talking about Abu Simbel, 9 and 10, the most beautiful temple on the planet, aesthetic, No other temple can even compare. That's where you get your fake Mount Rushmore. This is carved right out of the mountain. Right out of the mountain. How great are our people? They carve just into the mountain like that. And this is his beautiful wife, Nefertari, which means the most beautiful. This is the most ancient temple dedicated to a queen anywhere on the planet. This is the first and grandest temple ever constructed to any queen. So the African woman was most definitely revered and worshiped by her man in the ancient world, and even today. Some of us got to wake the fuck up, though. The Grand Temple of that's Native dynasty. Okay, this was built by one of our brothers. Okay, for the goddess. That's number 11. Okay, we're going down, and it's so beautiful how you could just sail up on our temple from the water. The Grand Temple of Luxor. This was constructed by that African brother right there. His wife, Queen T. We all know Queen T. We're going to get, if you don't, I'm going to make sure I introduce you to that beautiful goddess real soon. You'll see the Grand Temple of Luxor. So you see right there them columns. And you see where the freaks, the Greeks, got their information from, because some African architects went over there and showed their ass how to do it. Okay? And this right here, again, Luxor, Ramesses II also built on to that temple. You see the great columns there. We also showed you this precinct, the grandest precinct of temples anywhere in the world. The Temple of Karnak. We done went over that. This is inside that temple. It was so big, it's 4, 5 big temples inside the temple, and close to 100 other smaller temples inside the temple. This is the temple of Khonsu, the son of Amun and Mut. And here's the Serapeum sarcophagus. This was built, and I don't understand how the fuck they got the Serapeum. I don't know why they call it that. You understand? But you can see this sarcophagus. You understand? 100 tons. Okay, showing that we created it. So when you go to the old Mex and you go to Mexico and you see them in they little ass sarcophagus, you see how large this is, where it could, who the hell did you build this for? See, you build it for gods, because that's who we were at this time. You're not gonna go nowhere on this planet. Great Zimbabwe, south in Southern Africa, okay? Showing that no other continent has so many wonders. And though this is in the AD period, it still speaks of that same ancient wisdom that had been passed down for many a year in Africa. Right there, Lalibela, okay, Ethiopia. 11 churches there. Now Lalibela to the right, you got, and carved right out of just like Abu Simbel, carved right out of the mountain with perfection, showing that African ingenuity, architectural genius in our people this is in 11 AD. Okay, so nobody else has that, that long resume. You understand what I'm saying? You talking about from the pyramid of Imhotep at 2700 BC to, and down into 11 AD. You're talking about 4,000 years of consistent, all shocking, you know what I'm saying, accomplishments in architecture by our people. You see what I'm saying? Right there, 1150 to 1170 AD, got 11 churches with these, what you call the Oxum Stela. You understand? Some of the largest monuments carved out of one solid block of stone. The one that fell down was 500 tons. Okay, so that show you that the Oxumite, surpassed Egypt in a lot of respects, because this was the largest obelisk ever raised, even including Egypt. Now, if the one Hatshepsut would have raised, it would have been the heaviest, because that was over 1,000. It was twice, but it was never raised because it had It had a crack in it. So this one that fell down, which I believe the European pulled it down and they lied. They didn't have the technology to get it down so they could steal it. The one you see behind it, they brought back. They stole it and took it to Rome when Mussolini stinking ass went down there and committed genocide on our Ethiopian family. And so they cut it and took it to Rome, and they just brought it back in the last maybe 7-8 years. Okay, and so this one that fell down was carved out of one solid piece of granite. It was the largest single monument in the ancient world carved from one piece of granite. So this was awesome. So it showed you that they even surpassed Egypt in that sense. So it showed you that we still carried on that legacy of our people. 18, Der El Bahari, created by the great Queen Hatshepsut. Okay, showing you that the black woman is God. Nigga, got structures that's predate the white man even coming out the goddamn cave. I got to say that. Okay, I got to say that. How many temples did we show that was dedicated to the goddess, to the black woman? How many? How many? Damn near half of them. Okay, dedicated to the black woman. Here we go, 19. Here's another one, created by Hatshepsut. If she would have raised it, it would have been the largest single structure ever raised from one solid piece of granite, not pieces. You see what I'm saying? This was over 1,160 tons. You can see the people, imagine that. And then you're going to sell it to Egypt? Imagine what kind of ship she had to have to sail that down to Egypt. This is in Aswan. This is in Nubia. Okay, this is in Nubia. You know what I'm saying? So Luxor is about, from where Aswan is at, Luxor is at least 500-600 miles. So you imagine selling this down 500-600 miles, what type of ship you had to have. Imagine that. Imagine it. The pyramids of Meroe. And then you got the pyramids of Nuri. You got the pyramids of Nuri. You got the pyramids of Meroe. And I think you got some at Kerma. Okay? But this is the biggest one in Nubia. And so Nubia had over close to 300 pyramids. Okay? Between Egypt and Nubia, it was almost 430 some odd pyramids. So at least 280 of them was, right around that number is in Nubia. So the Nubians built more pyramids than the Egyptians. There you have the Mosque of Timbuktu. That's African genius. We must give respect to that. You understand? It was first constructed by Mansa Musa, okay, in 1327. This is African genius, one of the great universities of the known world. The two greatest libraries ever constructed in the ancient world. We won't say Alexandria, but the great library of Egypt, that's what I will call it, and the great library of Timbuktu, the two greatest libraries ever known, and we still have the manuscripts today. You can go to Timbuktu today, and you can look it up right online, how many manuscripts they still have. It is the second greatest library of the ancient world. Both of them are African. And even though, Timbuktu is other, but the wisdom is ancient. The wisdom is ancient, even though it's 1327, but the two greatest libraries ever known to man were two African libraries. You see right there, and I love the fact that in West Africa, even though they Muslim, they build a mosque in the form of pyramids. We've shown that. They build it, and that is an Egyptian temple blueprint, okay? You see the pyramid. They build their mosque in the form of the Valley of the King. You got over 62 tombs that have been found in this greatest cemetery ever. One tomb can shock the mind. I had to just put 22. I could have broke it down, but that would have took so much time. I'm gonna have I'm gonna have to go back and just break it down separately. You know what I'm saying? But I just put 22. I could have broke that down and at least got, you know what I'm saying, out of that 62, at least, 40 of them would have shocked the mind, and that would at least went up to 62. Even though I'm on 22, I could have went up to 62 with this cemetery, but that's just overdoing it. You know what I'm saying? They're just overdoing it. You see how I answered it, and we talking about carving into the mountain again, like Lala Bella. So you talking about these are skyscrapers under the ground, going to different 5 and 6 levels under the ground with rooms on each level. You might have 2, 3, 4 rooms on each level, depending on what king or queen it was. And one of the greatest tombs that ever been to be found intact was the tomb of the boy king Tutankhamun. Right here, there is no greater artifacts that ever been found. And this was a boy king. We already know how the great older kings and queens of Africa would have went down. Where is our artifacts? Where is our artifacts? We got to have them back. The Temple of Edfu 23, we got 2 more, and I've ended my case that the Greeks, the freaks, are not even in no way. They can't even compete with Great Zimbabwe. And I'm not listening in Great Zim. You could put Lalibela and Great Zimbabwe together and they would beat the Greeks. Those temples in Lalibela and Great Zimbabwe, we take the little brothers, even though they might be of the oldest because they South, but we're going to take the little brothers. You understand what I'm saying? And sick them on the Greeks and Romans. Those temples at Lalibela and Great Zimbabwe are more beautiful than the Greek and Roman structures. Let's be real about it. We at the Temple of Edfu, you understand? And in there you see the ark, you see where the statue of Heru would have been. You know, this is the sanctuary, showing you that we are a people of the river, people of the sea, people of the ocean. We did not walk nowhere. We mastered the ocean. We mastered the seas. And this is how we took civilization all over the planet. You see how beautiful this temple is. You see that there's writing over the whole temple. How in the hell do you believe that our people would have wrote all over all these temples up and down this river for 2, 3 people? You dumbass cracker. I had to say that. Trying to make it seem as our populace was ignorant. How the hell you think they wrote over all these temples for 2, 3 people? You fool. That's ridiculous. Temple of Dendera. Okay? This is, and I didn't put the dates up here. All of them is, I'll put them up there the next time. All of them is, in the beat. And I'm talking about some of them is 1500 BC. Dendera is in the Ptolemaic era, but at the same time, African architect put it there. Okay? Wait a minute, it was there, 237 to 57 BC. I didn't even see it down there. Okay, that's Edfu. Okay, and here's Dendera 24, and I can, the cosmological, the astronomical calculations that's in the ceiling of Dendera is over 100, man, at least 100. They done already mapped the constellations. They done already mapped the constellations, family. Okay, and so whatever the Greek freak could try to dilute, he did not understand it, because I don't give a goddamn how many times you cheat off of a nigga paper. You still do not understand the reality of what just putting the right answer don't mean you got understanding. See, you can write the right answer because you can steal that from somebody. But when somebody say, get that blank sheet of paper and work it out, then that'll prove whether you got understanding. Okay, so the 25th was, the 25th of the wonders was the Ark of Khufu. I had it out of place. But I just wanted to show y'all this one column. Where that column at? You know what? It's over here. And then I'm going to let y'all go. Where them columns at? Damn, where them columns at? Lord, I don't, mm, mm, mm. I let it get away from me. Family. I wanted to show y'all these columns so bad. Just to, good God Almighty. Damn, where did I put that at? Well, family, you know what? I believe it was over here. I do. Wait a minute. Where? Here they go. They down here. Where's the Greek? Wait a minute. Where's that, baby? Where's that? I got so much shit, it's ridiculous. I had a Greek stat column next to an African column, and I can't find it at this moment. Let me give me one more look. If I can't find it, I'll make sure I show it to you the next time. And bring it up. That's ridiculous. There you go. Thank you. See? So that's the columns at Saqqara, where Imhotep built the world's oldest stone structure, the step pyramid of Saqqara. These are the oldest columns in the world, and you can see they fluted columns. And then you look at the Doric columns, which ain't nothing but fluted columns that come out of Africa. Okay? And so these are the oldest ones in the world, 2700 BC, and that shit that they got and they look better than them old rusty ass columns that the goddamn Romans put up over damn near 3,000 years later. That's it. Let me come up out of that. Let me come on up out of that. Where we at? There it is. There it is. Anybody want to take up? Anybody want to take up the Greco-Roman fight? Now that right there, just really a quick, it's hard facts. But anybody want to take up the Greco-Roman cause? Just give me a motherfucking shout out, family. Give me a shout out. See, that's proof. That's proof. That's proof. Because a man's wisdom is ultimately going to show up in the things that he creates. Okay? And the man with the greater creations got the greater science. It's just that fact. That's just the facts. The man with the greater science will always have the greater accomplishments, the greater creations. You see what I'm saying? And so you're not going to tell me the Greeks got all this science and they shit is not to be found. No mass production of literature, no literature. You understand what I'm saying? Have no literature from the ancient. You go, and like we said, we could go right to the ancient scrolls of Egypt. It's everywhere. Every time you go down in a tomb, they found papyruses, scrolls so long that one scroll is literally a library. So we're not looking for ancient Egyptian manuscripts. We have them. We know exactly where they at. And not only the ones on paper, but the ones on stone, the ones on the coffin. You got the pyramid text, you got the coffin text, and you got the manuscripts written on papyrus. Okay, then you got four different forms of writing. You got the medu netta, what they call the medu netta, which is the symbols. Then you got the cursive form of the symbols. Then you got hieratic. Then you got demotic, which is a quick script. Okay, that's basically for traders. You know when you trading and shit. You know what I'm saying? So they got about 4 or 5 different scripts. Okay, and the demotic is where they gave to the Greek and what they call the Phoenician. That's where they got that from. Where the Africans, planted out so the motherfuckers could talk, and discuss and shit. And just like when even though you did and add an alpha, they were still illiterate. You would imagine it would take them goddamn hundreds and hundreds of years just to develop dictionaries, because you got to define shit. You got to get a grammatical rules to the shit. So they never got that shit off the ground. But even though they gave them a script, they ass died before the civilization could even use it. The Ptolemies was the last of the Greeks. When the Ptolemies were dethroned, that was the end of the Grecian world. That was it. And then the Romans, they thought that they could break the Africans, and they couldn't. And so when they realized that the Africans was not going to give them the wisdom to the knowledge, they closed the temples. And when they closed the temple, they cut the Mediterranean off from his mama, which is Egypt. And when they closed the temple of Egypt in 392, less than 100 years, Rome would fall. And that would be the end of the Western Roman Empire. That's facts. That's motherfucking facts. You cannot dispute it. And they stayed in a dark age until that university that we call Timbuktu, which was the hub of the knowledge at that time, that taught the Moors, you understand what I'm saying, that end up trading on their own brothers and with their weak ass. That's where the Moors, see, people always talk about the Moors educated the European. Okay, then where the fuck did the Moors get their knowledge from? Okay, they had to have it before they went up to fucking Spain, fool. These is arts and sciences that it would have taken thousands of years to develop it. So they didn't just show up at goddamn Spain with some goddamn knowledge that hadn't been developed for hundreds and thousands of years before they took their ass up there. Okay, the hub of where they got that knowledge from was West Africa, Timbuktu, Mali, Songhai, and Ghana, which is an extension of the Nile Valley. The Dogon even say they got their knowledge from Egypt. So they admitted to that. You know what I'm saying? They proclaim that they was, so we know where that knowledge came from. So until the Moors in I think 711 AD, when they went into Spain, from the time of the fall of fucking Rome in 476 AD to 711 AD. You understand what I'm saying? It was AD. It was AD. I'm make sure I got my damn dates right. 476 AD, they fell to 711. It wasn't all of Europe. It was just Spain. You see what I'm saying? It was just Spain and a few areas around there. That was the light. The rest of them motherfuckers was in the dark ages. Okay, they didn't have no writing or no nothing, and they was living like savages. And then they conquered down and ran the Moors' ass back up out of there because they went up there sleeping with them damn women, bleeding their fucking blood. You know what I'm saying? Not going back home. You understand what I'm saying? Laying with their own women. They went to the enemy, became their goddamn family. They started having babies by them goddamn white Spanish up there, and then eventually they would teach them bastardized babies to turn on them niggas and run their ass up out of there. That's exactly what happened. So family, that's it. That's it. That's it. I'm gonna be on the Mayans tomorrow. I'm gonna body slam them. Thursday, man, Pharaoh will be black up here, debunking Bobby Hemmett. made a mistake and deleted the damn video from the last time. But, you know, we coming back strong on that because we got to deal with that. We got to deal with that because too many of these Negroes is in the community teaching this bullshit to our babies about some Baphomet and Luciferian, nigga Luciferians and nigga Baphomet worshipers. We is on you niggas. You got to go. God damn it, the general, young Pharaoh, nigga, we didn't put warrants out. I signed the warrant on you niggas. And we nailing that motherfucker up on your door come Thursday. We got warrants out for all you niggas. God damn it, intellectual warrant, and we coming to serve your motherfucking ass. Come one, come all. Get your magic, get all that shit you need. Cause you gonna need it. And get it together. And we coming to serve them goddamn warrant. You got to go. You got to clean up. Too many of y'all niggas teaching against Africa. And like I say, if you working your magic for African people, I'm with you. Work it, baby. We need everything we can throw at this beast. If you working it for Africa, work it, baby. Work your magic. Whatever you doing, if you doing it for Africa, I'm with you. You on the team. But if you talking shit against the motherland and at the same time you on some bitch shit, Luciferianism, some old goddamn crazy offshoot, off back, off the goddamn cuff ass bullshit, I'm coming to see you. That's just all it is to it. You've been warned. Anybody don't like it, I tell you what, show up with science and intellect. Don't be mad. Don't get mad. Like Dr. Clark said, don't get mad, get smart. Okay, family? All the links gonna be in the video description. Hit them links. Gonna take you wherever you need to go. I got all my sites down in the description of me and Pharaoh's lecture this Sunday. You can hit all the Facebooks, but it's gonna be in this description. Hit it, God damn it, and get that link. All right, this is the general. Let me see my chat before I get out of here. How I do, fam? How I do? Make sure my people get there. Make sure y'all okay, my brothers and sisters out there. If they got a comment that ain't been okay, please okay. They giving love. I'm to get their shine on. Make sure y'all okay. Any of them? They moving fast as hell. All right, family. I'll see y'all tomorrow. I got to get some rest. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace.